What's up, guys? It's Ryantium here, and today we are back in Skyrim. Now that's right, you guys, and oh snap, is it gonna be an awesome freaking day. So guys, welcome back, and happy Magic Monday. So out of all the mods you voted on for last week's episode, this is the one that won. But don't forget, down there in the comment section, vote 1, 2, or 3, or check out the poll in the top right-hand corner to see which mod we're doing for next week's episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. So today we have a short mod showcase planned for today, which is why we're down here in the cellar of Anis's cabin, taking a look at the Spectral Skull spell. Now, what exactly does this mod do? Well, it's a very simple mod, but it's kind of one that could add a little bit more, I don't know, maybe a little bit more immersion into maybe like a Necromancer playthrough. So we're in here, like I said, in the cellar of Anis's cabin being right down the road from Riverwood, and Riverwood being right down the road from Whiterun. Everyone should know where Riverwood and Anis's cabin is at, but it's right across from the Guardian Stones if you need a closer landmark. Now, once you're inside of Anis's cabin cellar, there's a purple book on this bookshelf right here that says Spell Tome Conjure Spectral Skull. Now you can steal it. Now there's actually two other locations to find the book. You can go into Mara's Eye Pond, and it's inside of a crate, or you can go to Kilcreath Temple in the final room on the table to the left. Anis's cabin obviously being the easiest one to go to, but the Spell Tome Conjure Spectral Skull summons a spectral skull for 60 seconds wherever the caster is pointing. Obviously, as you become more powerful with Conjuration spells, you can extend the time as well as, the durability and, how much damage they'll end up doing. But, well, you guys know what ice... So if you aim at the ground, just like that. Okay, so as I was saying, before I got interrupted by a weed whacker outside, sorry about that. If we aim it at the ground, I think it's still out there, I can kind of hear it. If we aim it at the ground, obviously we just had a floating skull around us. We had the same kind of effect as the, the ice wraiths, but let's try that again. And let's take a look at this. So, the floating skull is basically the ice wraith equivalent, but instead of having a floating ice wraith, you have a floating skull. Now, I love this just because of how simple it is. It's probably one of the most crazy simplest things I've ever seen in Skyrim, but let's actually test this out in combat, shall we? So we're gonna go and take him up. We're gonna go outside and see what it's like in combat, because in the mod description it says the skull is an apprentice level spell that gets stronger or is stronger health wise than an ice wraith, but does less damage. But it also absorbs health with its attacks. So we're gonna try attacking Anis outside of her own home, because we just broke into her home, but we're gonna see just how much damage this bad boy can do, and I'm just curious to see what it can actually do as far as all that stuff. So it seems she found us out, and she is a hell of a mage, holy Jesus, but hopefully our little skull can go after her. There you go. Oh, did you see the animation? It does like a biting animation, look at that. Okay, so he hasn't hit her yet. It looks like he... Oh, whoa! He did some major damage. Look at that. Okay, so it's dead now, but you can only summon one at a time. That's definitely something you need to keep in mind. I think unless you have the multiple, like, spawning, like I guess the multiple summons and stuff like that, one of those mods, but it acts the same way as the Ice Wraith does. It just is kind of just a floating skull. Now, the reason why I said it would be perfect... Okay, they're strong as shit. Holy cow. The reason why I said they would be perfect for a Necromancer playthrough is because, I don't think a Necromancer would be floating around or walking around with an Ice Wraith, but a floating skull? Definitely so. Now, like I said, it's a very small mod showcase for today, guys. It's a little bit of a shorter one, but... even still, I think it would be kind of cool just to have it for, just for shits and giggles, honestly. Because you saw the amount of damage that this skull just did to Anis. It took, what, 2 or 3 hits to Anis in order to kill her? And it looked like she was doing some pretty good damage to me. So it means she's not, not a foe to be taken lightly. But the skull itself is very cool. Not to mention, like it says, it can indeed absorb health on the attack, but it's definitely worth taking a look at if you wanted something a little different from the Ice Wraith, and you want something a little bit cooler and maybe a little bit more, maybe lore friendly for a Necromancer playthrough. But with that being said, guys, like I said, short mod showcase today, but I will see you guys in the next video.